Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to another brand new episode of the show. Today's features my good friend Ryan Cheney of Fivefold, Steeples, and now he's got a brand new solo record on the way. I stopped by to talk about some of these songs, played 3 of them live acoustic for us today, and we had a whole lot of fun hanging out. So enjoy this one. Today's episode brought to you by Naked Vine in Chesterfield, Missouri, located on Clarkson Road, serving up the finest wine, whiskey, tequila, and local craft beers. Stop by this weekend for some great live music on Friday, June 19th. Hey, that's my birthday. You can come hang out with me and my good buddies Phil and Carson over at Naked Vine, 8 to 11. They'll be playing Phil Wright, Carson Mann of the Scandaleros will be playing 8 to 11 p.m. And come on out. It's going to be a great time. On June 20th, Saturday night, Chris Graham and friends will be out there. So find all this and more at nakedvine.net. Be sure to follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, a big thank you to Roughneck Beard Company and American Rambler for all their support. You can shop 24/7 at roughneckbeardcompany.com, or you can shop locally in Maplewood, Missouri at their store. Use my code RPP15 for an exclusive 15% off during your purchase. Again, you can visit them in Maplewood. Let's go by and snag up some beard oil and beard balms, some junk powder. Get yourself cleaned up, looking good, smelling good, and take care of that beard. And also a big thank you to Heil Sound for making the show sound great. Visit heilsound.com today. All right, that's it for me, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thanks for all the continued support. It's crazy. This thing's been going over 6 years now. It wouldn't be possible without all of you. If you'd like any shirts, hats, buttons, email me at rockpaperpodcast@gmail.com and let me know what you're listening to. I'd love to hear from y'all. All right, have a great day, everybody.
A podcast is kind of like it's like a radio show that's not on the radio. It's on the internet. Does that make sense? Uh-huh. Yeah. That's also like my mom. It makes it sound more confusing, doesn't it? It sounds like this.
This is Ryan Cheney, and you're listening to Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
This is beat paper, paper covers rock. Rock beats is a Shane covers non-stop. Never know what new kind of guest that he's got coming at you. Live and direct on the spot. Could be rock, folk, country, or hip-hop, jazz. All kind of folks that he has. Could be an artist or a comedian to make you laugh on the
Rock Paper Podcast.
double-decker fudge round, rolling round town. Shane coming at you live and direct from ground zero. He's your hero, he's your bestie. Rock Paper Podcast with Shane Presley.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Hey everybody, Shane Presley here, Rock Paper Podcast, coming to you from St. Louis, Missouri. Hanging out today with my buddy Ryan Cheney.
What up? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm glad to be here. We're already having a good time. We did some live acoustic jamming. I brought some donuts. Today is National Donut Day as we're recording, and I stopped by Donut Drive-In here in St. Louis, and they my first time. I heard some good things, and me and Ryan both destroyed a couple of them there.
Dude, I'm just stoked that it's like 6 minutes from my house.
Right.
Like, oh man, I'm gonna gain so much weight. Sorry, like whenever I come out of quarantine and everything, and I put on like so much pounds because I eat too many donuts.
Yeah.
It's gonna be true.
I'm an enabler. Yeah.
You're an enabler, bro. Come on.
But yeah, man, I'm glad to be here hanging with you. It's been way too long since we've done one of these properly.
2017, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I pulled it up. So you've been on twice with Fivefold back in the day. We did a Steeples episode in the 17, and then you do have a solo appearance from the Songwriter Showcase in February of 19. That episode came out. So with Gabe Stroop and Matt Hall, that was a fun night over there. So yeah.
A lot of drinks. I had a lot of drinks
Oh,
that night. Yeah.
and Brian's got a couple of them over there, so we'll take care of you. But yeah, so anyway, it's just fun that, like I said, especially with that songwriter showcase, like that was kind of the early stages of you doing this by yourself. And so it was kind of fun that night to sit and listen to some songs that not a lot of people had heard yet. And now some of them are starting to see, come to life in studio form and everything else. So things are coming together.
Yeah, that show, I think that was my second solo, I would say my second solo shot. It might have been my first. I forget if it was before the one I played with City of Parks or not. But
I think it was after that.
It was after that, yeah. So it would be so that was very early on. I was still just dipping my toes into even thinking I could do this, and I think I was still a part of Steeples at that time. Mm-hmm. So yeah, a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, but we did, like I said, we did some jamming today. But if you haven't, be sure to check out Ryan Cheney on your Facebook and Instagram pages. You got the RyanCheneyOfficial.com. Mm-hmm. And we've got some music out there already that surfaced on wherever you're getting your digital music, or you can go to ryancheney.bandcamp.com and check it all out there too. But so I thought it'd be fun to sit and talk about some of this stuff, talk about some of the stories behind some of these songs, and then get into a little bit more about what you've been doing. But like I said, those songs that are out there now, we have Shelter and Good Is Gone.
Yep.
And Holding Hope is exclusively on Bandcamp at the moment. Mm-hmm. And so you can check those out. But so I guess the first two, Shelter and Good Is Gone, was with Dan
Marsala and Encapsulated Studios.
Yeah. And so what's is that weird being in there by yourself now?
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's like whenever I started this thing, whenever I realized, I woke up one day and I was like, man, I'm just going to start a Kickstarter and just do an album. I'm just going to make it happen. Screw it, man. I have all these songs that need to be heard. And Songwriters Showcase was a big movement for that. I realized that, hey, these songs don't suck. People like them. So I'm going to record them. So I didn't have the money. So I did the Kickstarter, and, it was crazy. I mean, it raised $2,000 in two or 3 days.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was trying to figure out where I wanted to go. Thankfully, I'm blessed to have had tons of options. A bunch of my friends are producers or have in-home recording, and and I know a lot of producers in St. Louis. So, but yeah, I'm a weirdo when I go to record. I'm kind of a perfectionist. When I go to record, especially singing vocals, I see it as a collaboration between me and the person recording me. So I want to feel comfortable in there because I'm laying down my feelings and for everyone to hear. So I'd always felt really comfortable and encapsulated. I like the room, I like the vibe, and there's definitely sentimental value there. And then with Dan too, he's a good dude, man, and he was really tight with my friend Matt Amelong that used to record there. So I just signed up to do one song at first. I was like, I'm just gonna do Shelter. It was a song that I thought would be really cool. I already thought it sounded pretty dope just on guitar. So I was like, I don't know. Worst case scenario, it could suck and and whatever. It's still a cool song.
Right.
But it actually ended up sounding huge and epic. And I was like, oh my gosh, all right. So I'll just keep recording with you, man. Let's just see how many we could do. So, but yeah, it was super weird sitting in that vocal booth, especially.
Right.
Singing and then looking at through the window, and not seeing Matt there. That was kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But Dan is doing a fantastic job, man. He's killing it.
Yeah. I've heard yours, and I've heard some other stuff with Wiley and For the City's record,
yep.
and a couple other projects he's been a part of. And
yeah, he's exceptional, man. He's really, really talented. He's talented at a lot of stuff, but he's also, who would have known that he's also extremely talented at that. Go figure.
Sure. But I think I love that,
it even happened with you too. But when you kind of know somebody in a certain light, and then you think like that's who they are. But obviously all of us have very many layers.
Yeah. Like onions.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Shrek says.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But so it's like when you kind of see somebody like, okay, they're the front man of this rock band or whatever, or and then like you learn, oh well, he can also do this, and
Yeah.
this. So it's fun, and so it's the same thing. As Dan evolved from, he's been doing it for a long time, but I never really knew he was as good of a drummer as he is. But he's also
So he started out as
right.
Big
So
Blue Monkey.
I've learned that afterwards, but yeah, starting as a drummer and then became the front man, singer, and stuff, and then so. The different things like that, it's just like you just kind of get stuck, like kind of tunnel vision, thinking like this is what they do, and then like you forget like, oh, they can do all this other stuff too.
Yeah, man. I mean, and that's the whole beauty of art. We were talking about that earlier. Like, it's like I would hate to think that like all I ever become is just like a singer. Like, I want to do tons of stuff. Like there was a stint I was like, man, I'm gonna get really good at Irish dance. Like I don't know, dude. Like. I don't know. I think it's cool to really experiment and see what kind of art that you can do. And, and the whole process has been really cool too, because like I knew Dan and Dan knew me, but like we've never been like real tight or anything like that. We never really hung out, but doing this through this process, I've become really good friends with him, man. I'd call him one of my homies. Yeah. And it's cool because then like, you have like another musician, you have someone else in your corner that's rooting for you too, what I'm doing. And that's something I feel like going there, I desperately needed it because I'm pretty confident, but this was a total step off a cliff for me, going solo. And I was very not confident about any of it. And so hearing this guy that I really respect and I really have a lot of admiration for be like, dude, that song is great, or, you're really good at guitar. It's like, oh, all right. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. So yeah, it's cool though.
And you definitely need somebody like that in the recording process, I would think too, because especially, in the band setting, you have 3 or 4 other guys to bounce things off of. But as a solo artist, like
it's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's kind of terrifying, It's like it's like it's like operating on all platforms constantly, just doing this by myself. Like, and I would like to say, like, if I do have a bandmate and it's my wife and she's amazing and she's been supportive and shared, I've shared my ideas with her and, and so that's kind of like my bandmate now, but it's not the same. Like, it's like in Fivefold and Steeples, it's like a bunch of creative dudes just being like, yeah, this works. And if my lyrics suck, they could be like, hey, your lyrics suck, and I'm like, all right, so go back to the drawing board. Usually it didn't go that happy. I was actually pretty ticked about it usually, but no, it's cool, man. It's exciting to get an opinion and from something different that's not in my particular camp, who has no, Dan really doesn't have any like need to make me feel good or to, like what it does, no sweat off his back, so it's cool,
Yeah.
So
Brittany ever do that? Tell you the song sucks, or that's not
no. No. She's told me like she doesn't think like songs work or whatever, and I usually just go ahead and still do the song. There's a song that it's not. I think it's a song, but it's my intro to all my sets. And eventually, when my album comes out, it will be the intro to the album. But I wrote it. I was like, this is beautiful. I was planning it for her. And she's like, that's just so boring. I'm like, you don't hear it. You don't hear it how it needs to be heard, Brittany. But there's a lot of times, too. Like, I think her my favorite thing for her is, like, she's such a... being, I guess, my counterpart, my best friend, I show her, like, when I first write the song, just on acoustic, when I first wake up in the morning, and then the next process whenever I'm starting to record it, and then when it's getting polished, and then when it's, the master. And a lot of times during that process, she'll tell me her opinions on, hey, I think that's not the right direction. Like it lost something in that process, and that's really important. And that's kind of why I've kept a lot of these songs super acoustic, because I don't want them to lose that feeling of, you know,
Sure.
when I first write them. So, but yeah, no, her output is and outlook is really, really great.
Yeah, man.
So
I'm with you though on that. Like I love just that the rawness of it. You know, just you and the guitar type of
Yeah, and-
setting, and where you get to really dial in on those lyrics.
and it's you know, it's like I mean, I've played in bands with like some of the best, in my opinion, some of the best guitarists I've ever met, like Matt Benny, and then, you know, Jesse Berlin, Matt Amelong, I mean, Coco, like everyone in Fivefold played guitar except for I think me and Derek.
Yeah.
Well, I play guitar, but Derek did, you know. And then Steeples, the same thing. Like Eric and Nathan both are exceptional guitarists. So I just kind of, you know, started thinking eventually I was like, I'm not that good of a guitarist. I can't shred. I can't play solos. I can't finger pick that well, you know. And I just stopped. When it's funny because like that's the whole reason I got into music. That was my instrument of choice. I mean, I felt like I picked up a guitar and I instantly started like writing music. So I think it was silly. I feel it was kind of a hindrance. That's it. For that, I put down my guitar for so long. I should have held it the whole time.
Yeah.
You know. So
I think Jack from Brook Royal kind of said a similar thing, like because everybody kind of focused in on him being the front man of Brook Royal and singing, and like he didn't play guitar, but so he didn't play guitar for many years, and then he missed it, so he started playing with the Poor, started playing guitar and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
dude. I mean, it's like it's just once again, I mean, full circle. It's also just the different versions of your art, you know, and that's the reason a lot of these songs are like heavily just acoustic, and I will be adding more instruments to all these songs later on when the album comes out.
Right.
But for right now, I wanted to showcase that. I wanted to be like, yeah, this is me playing guitar, like I do this, and you know, and yeah, and I'm excited. So.
Yeah, man. Well, let's give him a little sneak peek at what you've been up to.
Yeah.
Speaking of these acoustic songs, and I mentioned one of my personal favorites that hasn't been out yet, but a song called Jesse James that I heard you play at that Songwriter Showcase, which if you missed that show, check it out. It's on Spotify or YouTube. You can pull it up and relive that moment because that was a fun night. But so Jesse James, immediately as soon as I heard it, I'm like, man, it's a fun song. You know, it just gets you singing along. I feel like those oohs and stuff in there, like it's definitely a sing along chorus for the fans and stuff. And so anyway, with this, you want to talk about this particular one?
Yeah, totally. Jesse James, yeah. I had started writing it. I think so. I wrote it from a place of like a little bit of guilt. You know, I forgot. You know, we all feel guilt every once in a while, but I didn't want it to be just another sad song by me, or just like, I wanted to write something that was kind of fun and kind of catchy, and so I just the words kind of just came to me. I started just like playing this pattern, and that they came up with the first line, "Tell me something I don't know." Like, you can't tell me. Like, I know what and then it went on. Basically, the song is about the hero of the story, or the villain, I guess both. Is like pretty much a cowboy, esque person, and he's like drinking. He's like just kind of a shadow of who he used to be. He lost the love of his life. And he kind of had fallen to this, sad state of affairs. And the chorus is, please God, rest my soul.
Right.
Pretty much him kind of replying to himself, like, I just want it to end. Like, there's no reason. And at the end of the song, he opens up his eyes, he's in heaven, and there she is. And, he should have, I should have known she'd be there all along, so please God rest my soul, but no, it's a fun song. And I finished it actually in Florida. I started at my our old apartment, and I brought my guitar and started playing. I finished the whole last verse and the last chorus in Florida at our friend's house. But still, I held on to it for a long time because it didn't really fit any of my other stuff. I mean, it was a fun song, but also like I just didn't think I didn't think people were gonna like it. I really didn't. Yeah. But a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me something I don't know. I admit I'm a sinner and I'm sorry for the deeds done. Wish I had a place to go. Hit the road again. What's the state I'm in? Cause I'm heading down to Mexico. Laying low like an outlaw in the days of old. Oh, my soul is heavier than I can explain. If there was a way out, then I missed my train. Oh no, I know, no, oh, 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 oh. I know, no, I know, no, oh, 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 oh. And when my time for judgment comes, oh, that will be said for me. Wasting all my time like it was something that I could keep. Well, I don't know if I can go on, so please God rest my soul. I know, no, oh, 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 oh. Please God rest my soul. I know, no, oh, 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 oh. She was the hometown queen. Every man near and far took a shot at her heart, but I knew she was the one for me. No one ever stood a chance when I asked for her hand, and we were thinking about a family. What a dream till the lawman took her away from me. Now I'm just a lost soul looking to be born again. And when my time for judgment comes, oh, that will be said for me. A lying sheet, what has become of the man I used to be? Well, I don't know if I can go on, so please God rest my soul. I know, no, oh, 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 oh. Please God rest my soul. I know, no, oh, 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 oh. And now my time for judgment comes, oh, that will be said for me. I opened up my eyes, and there she's standing in front of me. Well, I should have known she'd be there all along. Please God rest my soul. I know, no, oh, 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 oh. Please God rest my soul. I know, no, oh, 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 oh. Please God rest my soul. I know, no, oh, 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 oh. Please God rest my soul. I know, no, oh, oh, oh. I recently started recording it with my good friend Matt Benny, who I was with Fivefold with for a long time. And he's got an in-home recording studio, so that's been really fun. But I was camping and I was playing my guitar for my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, and I played that song, and my brother-in-law was like, "Dude, like that song is my favorite of yours," and I was like, "Oh yeah?" Like out of all the stuff, me as a songwriter, I'm like, I've written amazing things, and that's your favorite. Right. So we were camping, so that's usually when I get really creative when I'm outside, and also when I've had a few drinks, I get pretty creative and pretty ballsy with my moves. So I told Brittany then, I was like, I'm just gonna hit up Matt. Haven't recorded with him yet. We tried to record this song like a year ago. It didn't pan out. I was like, I'm gonna go back. We're gonna do this again, and I'm gonna record this song, and it's gonna get the love it needs. It's very different from the stuff that I'm recording with Dan. So I felt like it would kind of been slight on the song to go and record it with Dan because it needs just a different feel. And so I was like, I'll just record it with someone else, and someone else I'm really excited about recording, and it's Matt. So yeah, we're recording it. I've had Matt's played a bunch of stuff on it. Derek's played drums. Nathan Husky, and from Steeples with me, he played mandolin. So yeah, but it's got mandolin, banjo. It's gonna be country as hell.
Yeah,
so.
man. Nice. Yeah, that's a great cast on there, man, for sure. Which was cool. Again, kind of, talking about those guys. When was it February we did the solo show?
Yeah.
At Blueberry Hill, and it was just fun to see even though the bands are no longer together, but all those guys, jumped on stage and played with you that night and stuff, and so it was so good to see.
It was important to me to make sure that I never stopped playing. Like I've been a musician now for the better part of my life, and I've sang in a band with the same people for the better part of my life. And they're not only my best friends, but they're also like some of the most talented musicians. And like I don't think I would feel as comfortable on stage with anyone else.
Right.
So once again, this is a vulnerable time for me. This is a vulnerable thing I'm doing. So I want those people there. I want them to add new life to it and tell me their opinions, because they've told me their opinions.
Sure.
The whole entirety of my career. And having them on stage with me was so much fun. And I know like Matt and Derek both have just been like, it's like, dude, that was one of the funnest shows I've ever played, man.
That was a great night.
Yeah, it was super cool, man. And it was cool for me too, because like, I wrote these songs like Fivefold when I was writing in Steeples, it was always in a studio, and like we're all pistons are firing, and they wrote something and I'm writing to that, right? These songs, I'd wake up with a melody in my head, pick up my guitar, still in my boxers, sitting on the couch, didn't take a shower yet. And I'm just like, so to know that like something that is that like natural and just like from my head can turn into this really cool song that people can connect to. It's cool, and it's kind of rewarding just knowing that I did that. I wrote that, and not in a cocky way, not saying like I'm, but just knowing like I did that. That's something, that's what I can do, And so, yeah, it's cool.
I told you I played a song for you while we were getting set up, and I got one of my favorites, Will Hogue, and you telling that story just it's funny to me. It's just a goofy little thing, but he got to one of his biggest like things was he wrote the song Even If It Breaks Your Heart. It's a Eli Young band cut and went #1 on country radio.
Yeah.
And he and then after that, like he went on the road with Eli Young band, and I think we're opening for Kenny Chesney at this time or something. So they're playing these like massive amphitheaters and arenas or whatever and stuff, and I'm like playing 40, 50,000, crowd and stuff.
Insane.
And he, most of Will's, shows are pretty small, just 100, 200, 300, whatever, a lot different than a Kenny Chesney crowd. And Eli Young band like invited him out to like play guitar on their set or something like that. And so he said he's back there playing guitar and everybody's singing Even If It Breaks Your Heart. And he's like, man, I wrote this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And, just like you hear, it was pretty wild for him hearing 50,000 people singing his lyrics back to him and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, there's so much power in a song, man. And I think a lot of times, like something that is that vulnerable and that is that raw, like can turn into like you're not thinking about it, you're not like over, and also you brought up like getting people's opinions. You're not getting anyone else's opinion. So what comes out is literally what happens. You're not thinking about the demographic, you're not thinking if someone's gonna get offended if I talked about something political. You're just like, this is from the heart right away, and this is and I think people connect with that, and so no, it's cool, man. It's amazing. Like I felt that way at the Blueberry Hill show, man. And it's just like, and I felt that way at the singer-songwriter show, even though people weren't singing it, like they were latching on to it and they were just listening and enjoying it. I had a couple fans that came, I say fans, actually they're friends now, that came to that show and then later on came out to Iowa with, and I didn't know they were coming. They drove all the way to Iowa. And I noticed that show they were singing all my lyrics, and it was from watching the the singer-songwriter thing. And that was the first time I was like, wow, like that's cool. Yeah. Like people singing these lyrics back, and I don't know, man. It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, you mentioned in getting political and stuff. And I think like Good Is Gone is like that was one kind of, or sorry, Holding Hope. Kind of started tapping it. Even Good Is Gone a little bit. There's definitely you mentioned reference to Bob Dylan and stuff, and like and that's obviously what he was very good at doing. Kind of speaking for the people at the time. What we're all going through, and so listening to what some of your lyrics now, especially as getting into as a solo artist, like that's kind of what I've really enjoyed too. Is like you do have the freedom to. Yeah,
to just say what I want to say. It's it's weird being in a band for so long, man, because like it's like in Fivefold, we wrote for so long and we dealt with a lot of loss and everything, and so all our songs started having to be some kind of like just really deep song that was gonna just like open people's eyes, and that's amazing. And I think those songs still do that. They still do it for me, and that's amazing, and I'm so glad. But obviously you keep growing as a songwriter. And not even growing as a songwriter, but you keep getting older and maturing, and your views change. And I couldn't be political in Fivefold because it just wouldn't fit. It wasn't the right time. And then in Steeples, like we were definitely geared toward like a younger crowd. Which was awesome. Like that was amazing, and I had to like check myself and be like, all right, I gotta like get more hip, I gotta get
a white jacket and
dude, right? And dye my hair white. That was the craziest thing. I can't believe I did that. But when I stepped onto this, I was like, I don't want to follow any mold, man. I don't want to even think about that. I want to literally just say, in Shelter, I think that was one of the ballsiest moves I've made as a songwriter. It's, I grew up very religious. I grew up in a very religious household. I do still believe in God, but I'm not religious. And, and I do cuss like a pirate all the time. If anyone knows me, they know, like, I drop like F-bombs, like everything. And so in that song, I say, Father, give me shelter. Can you hear me calling out your name? Though I've turned my back on every goddamn word you say. And, and like, I mean, in religion, that's like that's like blasphemy. You shouldn't say that. But it was important for me to say it because it was showing that like, I'll probably do this again. And right now, here's me doing it right now, but it didn't take away that it's a cry for help. It's a cry for, like salvation in a sense, from where you're at, and that was something. Good Is Gone. Yeah. It's like I bring up Bob Dylan, which is, a big inspiration for me, and then, in Holding Hope, it was a line, and the man in charge should give us faith, but he just rants about his ratings. But instantly I go to, and we point fingers like this is someone's fault, saying that it's not even Trump's fault, man. Like no one can this is no one's fault. And I wasn't even like really talking crap. I'm just like, there's a basic moral code. It's like, man, you should be there for your people, man. They need you. And I'm glad I get that output, that way to stand out again, for what I believe and what I think is right. So
there was a new one you played today, and it also gets into some political tones, and there's some lyrics in there that are pretty heavy, man, and just very current today, obviously. But you said this wasn't even written necessarily about today's state, but it really resonates with everything going on. And
I really want to release it now. I mean, I've had a few fans. I don't like saying fans. A few friends. Basically say like, dude, that song needs to be released, and they've heard it, but basically I wrote Change the night after the shooting happened at that concert. I think it was Luke Bryan, right?
In Vegas, you said, right?
I think so.
And
I like typed on Snapchat, and I saw snaps of people actually there, and it broke my heart. There was fires ravaging America, and I walked down this gas station. I see this homeless guy, and I asked him his name, and he acted like he thought it was the craziest thing. I asked him his name. I was like, man, we gotta get together, man. We gotta fix this thing, this whole not understanding thing. Like the world. I mean, because I'm a hopeful, happy guy, but the world sucks half the time. And the one thing that makes it better is people don't have to suck. You know, we could be better, and we should be better. You know, and with everything going on now, I think that it's a good song to be released to kind of speak about it, because what's going on right now breaks my heart, man. It makes me so sad. You know.
Yeah, it's I don't know, man. I'm sure you're a lot like me, especially. Just kind of being an empath, it's like so much negativity. You sit there and watch the news or scroll through social media or anything, and it's just like you're just constantly flooded with all this, and it's just so hard to, is get stuck in that. And
yeah, totally, man. And like I deleted my Facebook and my Twitter, man. I couldn't do it. It's just so sad, and people, I feel like, and I'm guilty of it too, man. People lose focus of what really matters, and it's sad, and I feel like social media does not help with that at all. Social media has so many benefits, keeping us together, sharing life events. For me, my favorite thing is bringing up old memories, especially with people that I don't have here anymore. But people will just post or share some status that they would actually never say.
Yeah.
And they actually don't really think it. They just share it, and then that makes me think they have this view that they really don't. And then it's a spiral, and yeah, man. Yeah, I was working the other day, and like my manager was like, "Dude, what's going on with you?" I was like, "Dude, I can't process it all. It just I want to write a song that literally can just change the world. Like that's all I want. I want to write one song that like can just, people will hear and be like, all right, cool. Because it's just like, I feel like that's my purpose. I feel like that's my gift. Like, I could do a million things. In that change, I say like, I could go down the street and hold a sign with my political views, but I'm only human, like, and I'm just skin and bones. So, and that doesn't seem like enough. That's gonna like save us. And the next line I say, maybe I'll go write a song, and you'll hear it and understand it, and maybe like, I'm heart and soul. I'm a human, heart and soul, and maybe that seems the only thing that can save us. And and so yeah, that's all I want, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Turned on the news today, couldn't believe my eyes. The world was set ablaze and bullets falling from the sky. Although we keep building walls like we're not all the same, like we're not all to blame. I sit and question, what can I do? Maybe go down the street and hold a sign with my political views. I'm only human, skin and bone, and that's surely not enough to save us all. What if all we had was the heart we were given? The blood that is flowing in our veins is no different than the man that's begging for change on the corner. Well, I guess we want the same thing, both just begging for change. Both just begging for change. The more I look, it seems that everybody's crazy. We sit behind a screen and type out words we don't mean. So pick a side and hold it tight, 'cause ain't nobody gonna change your mind. Rather fight than find peace. I sit and question, what can I do? Maybe go write a song, you sing along, sing a love that's shining through. I'm only human, heart and soul, and that seems the only thing that can save us all. What if all we had was the heart we were given? The blood that is flowing in our veins is no different than the man that's begging for change on the corner. Well, I guess we want the same thing, both just begging for change. Both just begging for change. Oh no, no. And all I know that's true, there's no difference between me and you. It don't matter your opinion, color or religion, who you choose to love or the culture you were born in. The only side I'm on is the one where we can get along. Tired of the hate, I'm ready for some change. I'm tired of the hate, I'm ready for some change. I'm tired of the hate, I'm ready for some change. I'm tired of the hate. And what if all we had was the heart we were given? The blood that is flowing in our veins is no different than the man that's begging for change on the corner. Well, I guess we want the same thing, both just begging for change.
We're still fighting the same fight today that we've been fighting for years and years.
Yeah,
And
and it's just it's so silly to me. I don't get it.
right. But I did feel like, though this is such an incredibly shitty thing, like I feel like something like I start, going even on with all the social media stuff. Like I've started seeing now footage like where there was like the divide. You had your police and you had your protesters, and then and eventually they started breaking down the wall and people were hugging and
yeah, dude,
and stuff and
I don't think that there's enough coverage of that,
right?
And, I know people are like, well, they don't. I'm not gonna share my personal thoughts on it. As far as like what I believe that the black people of America have been racially just destroyed by America for as long as America's been a thing, and that's got to stop. I know people freak out about looting and all that stuff, but it's like it's not my job as a white male to tell anyone else how to feel about this. And it's just devastating. I've never had to deal with that. I've never had to I grew up in freaking Jefferson County. I never had to fear anything like that. I had to worry if my buddy who's a cop would yell at me, for not having expired, plates or whatever, and, not even get a ticket. And, and living in St. Louis, I see it a lot more, I just think that, like you said, there are a lot of good things happening. Everyone's taking notice. I think if COVID-19 did anything for us, it showed us that, hey, we can make a change together. We're actually all in this together. Because it was kind of like Thanos, right? And the Avengers, it's it didn't care. COVID didn't care who you were, if you were healthy, if you weren't healthy, how old, how young you were. It was if it was going to take you, it was going to take you.
Right.
And I think that we all stood together and we're like, all right, we have to do what's right now. And it wasn't about just me. It was about other people's grandparents, about our grandparents, and so whenever all this happened, this devastating thing with Floyd, I think that everyone realized, every business realized, we're like, dude, we can't stand for this. We can change this. We could fix this right now. And I think it's amazing, and it's so inspiring to see the Black Lives Matter movement get so much attention and positive attention. I remember a couple of years ago when it was so divided, if that was even, and I don't understand how it can be divided. But I think it's cool, man. There was an amazing story that I was watching on, I forget what day it was, but there was a protest in Ferguson, of all places. And there was a curfew of 9, but protesters were walking at 11, right? And cops were actually escorting them. And, it's in my head, those cops could have just arrested them. But they were like, no, dude, we're going to walk with you. We're going to support you. We're going to, and I'm like, that is fantastic. And that's a lesson that everyone standing in protesting is going to remember that. And every cop that did that is going to remember that. Yeah. And I think it's important, man. And it's I forgot what quote, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but people don't aren't born to hate. You know, we're born knowing how to love. You know, you're not born just hating everybody. You know, unless you're a psychopath.
Right.
You're born loving people, and that's more natural and easier. So you know, it's like, I don't know, man. I think it's scary and it's a lot, but I think that there's a lot of good that can come from it. And hopefully I can release this song, and hopefully it helps.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was just heard it the first time today with you, and I was moved, man. It's heavy stuff to listen to, and so I'm excited to hear the polished version in the studio and stuff, and see what happens with this thing, man. But yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm like, I feel like, you know, it needs to go out now. But that's like the thing with any great song like this, you know, like just like you're talking about earlier with Dylan and stuff too. You know, in Good As Gone, as you say, the song came out 50 years ago, but we still
feel the same way.
It still is relevant. So that's what's kind of crazy about some of the, you know, these songs. They still resonate years and years later because they're still, well, one, that's, you know, we're still looking for change. We're all, so, but, you know, it's crazy.
Probably always will.
Yeah.
But, you know, progress doesn't happen like you know, it's like a huge leap. It's like a slow and steady crawl sometimes.
Yeah, man. Well, you, again, getting plugged in, again, RyanCheneyOfficial.com.
Yep.
And we mentioned Holding Hope, and that we'll be hitting all your digital platforms on June 26th. So you can, you know, get that. But also that day, you said you're going to be debuting your Patreon.
Yeah, I'll be coming out with my Patreon on June 26th too. I'm really excited about it. There's only one tier. It's like $1. I mean, you can pay more if you want to. Patreon's a really cool site to support artists. And I put a lot of money into things that will allow me to share behind the scenes, you know, and actually like record myself. So like anyone that, you know, donates to this Patreon, I'll be able to just share whatever song I'm working on, you know, that, and then, you know, they will get a actual, like, not a, you know, like a vote, but like their opinion is going to matter, and what I release and what I don't release, you know, what songs they think are awesome, which ones they think are dog poop, you know, so. So. Yeah,
man. I think that's, you know, even Kickstarter or any of that kind of, you know, these different ways to help support artists and stuff, and being along with that process. I just really enjoy it. You know, I like seeing the behind the scenes. I like, you know, being exclusive stuff, like, especially somebody, if you're a big fan, you want to be involved in that and stuff. And
yeah, like, totally, man. I mean, it's like, I look back at things that got me so stoked back in the day. Mm-hmm. You know, when I was only a fan, I wasn't really that much of a, you know, an artist. Under Oath releases this DVD for They're Only Chasing Safety, I want to say. And it had a DVD of them on the road. And they were just like kids, but like, it was so cool. I was like, man, that's what tour's like. And that's what a big show's like. And, you know, and you get to see that stuff, and, you know, it inspires you. And so I was trying to think of ways that I could give that experience. And like, I definitely don't live that as an exciting life as Under Oath yet. Yet is the key word. I say yet at 30. But actually, I live a very exciting life. I guess I do have a crazy story, but I'm excited. Yeah, I can release songs, and then I'm going to try to, like, at least every 2 months, do like a Google Hangout, and then whenever everything's like, you know, we can go out in public and ever feel safe again, I'm gonna start throwing just basically Patreon only parties, and like we'll like rent out a space and have a couple drinks and all hang out, and, you know, because I think that is. Fivefold did that a lot, man, and that's why I say friends instead of fans, because those people, there's one thing just to like be on a stage and see someone at a bunch of shows, but then like there's so many people like Shane, like you know, Jeff, Gabriel, and Leah, and I mean the list goes on and on and on of people that started as fans that became just like some of my best homies. You know, and so I think like I want to do something like that. I want to do like, hey, let's all hang out. Yeah. You know, and get to know each other. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm very grateful that that you guys started. I guess going to see Fivefold at Pops and just really dig what you guys were doing. I think it was like a Road to Point Fest type of thing. The very first time I saw you guys, but it's just cool that all these years later that we've all become really close. And I think having you mentioned the hangouts and stuff. I remember one night the story came out. That when the record was coming out, you guys did like an exclusive meet and greet type of thing.
Was that like before the show at Pops? Where was that?
This was like a bowling alley thing or something like that.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Or something like that along those lines. Forget now, but it was like I just remember, it was just a fun, no show, nothing, just us hanging out and
dude, because that stuff is what's up, man. Like you can make a fan and they might buy a couple CDs, but it's like how many of your friends that started their own businesses. If your friends started their own business, you would support it, like always.
Right.
And so you make these and it's also like for us, man, like. I mean, when I was a pretty nerdy little kid, man, and I was like, man, all these people are my friends. Like what? But yeah, and that's the coolest thing, I grew up in the music scene, watching bands go back in the green room and not talk to anyone, not talk to us, and especially not their fans, because how would they be seen as super mysterious and everything like that. I just thought that was all bullshit, man. I was like, dude, I want to be out there. I want to be hanging out, and and also as a salesman, I feel like I'm a really good salesman. I love the idea. I always loved the idea of meeting someone and them having no idea who I was while at a show, and then getting up on stage and be like, dude, I just did 2 shots with that guy. Right. And he never even mentioned he plays in a band. Because then there's a memory and there's something that people can latch onto. You talked about the bowling alley. It's and that's something that is important, because it's all of a sudden it's not just a band that you follow. It's there's your friends that are doing their craft. Yeah, and that's why I follow you on Rock Paper Podcast.
Yeah, man. Yep. That's cool, man. I'm glad, like I said, I'm very grateful that we've become good buds over the years doing all this stuff. So, it was I think it was Dr. Dre just said something the other day in regards to that mystique, he that social media kind of killed the mystique of the artist and stuff, and how some people, obviously it works for some, but also
I think it would be really lame if Maynard Keenan of Tool started just being friends with everybody.
Right.
It's no, Howie needs to be really mysterious.
Sure. Yeah. It definitely works for certain artists, but most of us connect to just that, like I said, these are real people. These are, these are dudes that just like me. So, but, I think for him too, Dre, I think is kind of the type of guy, obviously you've looked at his, track record, he doesn't put out records every year or anything, so for him, it's sometimes he's working behind the scenes and, doing something or whatever, but it's I think the norm and
aspect
of having social media is constant engagement
always, because all the algorithms. I mean, if you don't post on Facebook every day, people are gonna stop seeing your stuff.
So
and it's it's cool because it's a hype machine.
Yeah.
It's and it definitely makes you as an artist find things to post about.
Right.
Which I just now realized how much stuff I have to post about.
Yeah.
I started this thing on Instagram that I'm really excited about, just song. It's in this folder called Song Ideas. And I'll post hey, there's another song idea I had. What do you guys think of it? And it's another way for me to share things, But it's I've got so much of that content. And people like hearing that and seeing that. But but on the same thing, it does kind of suck, having to wake up every day and I'm not even really doing anything right now, or I'm not trying to share what I'm doing right now, but you kind of have to because you have to make people excited.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, get involved again. Hopefully, hear some more of the, getting plugged in on the Patreon page account and everything. and then you can get some of these sneak peeks of some of these new songs coming out and stuff. But you keep saying record is are you planning to whenever I guess you get to a certain point you're gonna
So Rich, like I said with the Kickstarter, I mean I literally woke up one day and I'm like, I'm a doer. I'm like and I'm also I react off emotion almost entirely, and so like I've been thinking about putting out a CD and freaking out because I'm like I don't have that kind of money and I don't like, I'm already doubting myself and my ability to even put anything out. But second, I don't have any cash. I
Right.
mean I'm a bartender, so I'm like how do I do this? I'm like well and someone mentioned Kickstarter, and I woke up and I was still in like this foggy daze. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not thinking. I'm all gusto right now. I'm just gonna make the thing. And I said, yeah, these are like the songs that are gonna be in it. That whole list has changed. And then I was going to actually release it in December, and it was gonna be about I think 6-song CD, so like an EP, which is very original to what the Kickstarter was saying, but when COVID hit, I realized like everything got backlogged, everything got backtracked. And who knows when I'm going to be able to do a CD release show. And I don't want to release a CD until like I can play a show, like a huge show with all my friends and have a great time. I don't want to release it in quarantine.
Right.
So I had the idea of why not just, it's like, I used the Kickstarter money to record all the songs, and now I'm just paying out of pocket for just more songs. I'm like, let's just see how many we can do, man. And so I've got a bunch of songs I'm writing constantly. So I just, who knows? I'm at, I think 9 songs now because I'm recording those 2 with Benny. I'll have 9 songs that will be on the CD, but I don't know. It could be 20. And it's something that I've seen a lot of times in solo artists is their first CD will be like 20 songs. It's all the songs they were writing whenever they were first starting out, and I think that cast a wide net, and also helps me define my sound and my style. It's like out of those 20 songs, and I'm already writing songs that aren't similar at all in style. But I want to see what people like. I want to see what people latch onto, and then I'll know what direction to go to, and you go for it, in the future. So, but I mean, I would say next year, definitely. I'm not gonna put this thing off forever. Especially being able to record myself now, or getting there. I want to just record, and, and definitely latest next year.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I want to get it out there. So.
Well, if you're itching for some new music and you want it even faster, or ways to make that happen even quicker, what you can do is you can buy a Ryan Cheney T-shirt, and we're going to have T-shirts coming real soon.
Yep.
So, and again, those it's all going right back into the studio and everything else. So
yeah, it's cool to have that. Like, it's like whenever I started on this, I was just paying like just out of my, and now it's like I have a separate fund for like everything music, and it's like cool to be able to like, all this money's going right back into like helping this craft become better and easier to like just put things out there,
Yeah.
So I'm just a song machine, man. I just write.
Well, let's play one more.
Yeah.
And this is another brand new one called "Call Me Out." Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What do you want to add around this particular song, Ryan?
"Call Me Out." That was at the without going too well. I guess I'll go in detail. I don't know if there's ever been a time I haven't gone into detail. I started writing the song. I realized that I needed to go solo for a long time. I was actually on a double I was hanging out with Jeff and Leah, Gabriel, and they didn't know that I played acoustic, and I was like, it just hurt me to my core. I'm like, that's crazy. Like that was where I started, and some of my really good homies don't know that I play acoustic. This is how I write. And that's how I wrote most of the Steeples songs. Like, I mean, they were first originally acoustic songs. Definitely not all of them. I mean, freaking a lot of them were just built in the lab with all of us. But a lot of them I wrote on acoustic and I sent an audio clip over. So whenever people didn't know I played acoustic, I realized that I'm like, I can write songs day and night, and I just want to do this, and I wanted to do it because it scared me.
Yeah.
So Call Me Out is just calling myself out. In the bridge, I say, and all I know is I used to have a fire in my soul. Used to sing from the mountains until the heavens opened up for me. And that's how I feel like in, early days. That's how I felt like when I was singing. I feel like I made things happen when I sang. And all of a sudden that wasn't really happening for me personally anymore. And that fire that I used to have, I realized like it was kind of fading. There was even a time I was thinking about quitting music altogether and just moving to Florida. And I wrote that song just kind of being like, dude, I got to do this. I have to make this move. And that's what Call Me Out's about. So it's probably the most, it's the reason for the whole transition.
Yeah.
Don't call me out, but I'm coming down with a case of the blues. Can you see I'm down behind this smile that I wear on you? Whoa, my reactions start to feel so syncopated. I'm debating what is really reading, what I'm making up. I'm in a right of pain to open up my heart to you. Why should you handle the weight? And all I know is I used to have a fire in my soul. Used to sing from the mountains until the heavens opened up for me. 'Cause lately it's been hard to breathe, and lately I've been going crazy, waking up to find I'm half the man I thought I'd be by now. And lately it's been hard to sing when all these words just sound the same. They never change. Over singing about the man I'd like to be, who I claim to be. Don't call me a victim, 'cause I face my demons with my head held high, but I never beat them. They lie in wait in the middle of the night. Whoa, remember confidently standing, consequently mending all the voices telling me I couldn't stand against the tide. I'll get up and fight back, 'cause these words are a weapon to me. And all I know is I used to have fire in my soul. Used to sing from the mountains until the heavens opened up for me. 'Cause lately it's been hard to breathe, and lately I've been going crazy, waking up to find I'm half the man I thought I'd be by now. And lately it's been hard to sing when all these words just sound the same. They never change. Always singing about the man I like to be. Oh no, no, tell me I'm not alone. Oh no, no, and all I need is a spark. I believe this is bigger than me. Oh, this is bigger than me. And all I need is a spark. I believe this is bigger than me. Oh, this is bigger than me. And maybe I can learn to breathe. Been waiting for the moment's here. Take all the fear, let it wash
Another good one, man. I'm excited to get some of these again. This obviously I love just this setting and you and a guitar, but it'd be fun to hear the polished version of these.
Yeah.
Some of these come to life.
Definitely.
So, I have a couple questions I wanted to ask you, though, Ryan.
Sweet.
One of them. So you mentioned you tend to curse like a sailor or pirate.
Oh, yeah.
Pirate sometimes.
Yeah.
If you were to create a new curse word, what would it be?
Oh, dude. Cheddar brats.
Cheddar.
Cheddar brats. Yeah. I would like for that to be offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, there's a story with that. Back in Fivefold, I would always be like, people ask me a question, I'm like, cheddar, and then I was like, cheddar bra, and then I was like, cheddar brats. But yeah, it needs to be like a cheddar brats, man. It's like cheddar brats.
Yeah, right.
You know, like just like anger, like it's like a massive just
Sure.
sting to your ego.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your strangest fear?
Oh, Band-Aids. So could I tell a really crazy story? So my grandparents, they were amazing. But they had a trailer park that they like watched over, right? And a lot of the people that lived there were hoarders and had various other tendencies as well. We were cleaning one out one time, and I went into their bathroom and I found a whole wall covered in used Band-Aids. And it's like Batman, when Batman falls down the cave, he sees all the bats and then he's scared of bats.
Right.
I could have been Band-Aid man at that point because I was just so grossed out. And so now I don't wear Band-Aids. I can't stand them. If you come at me with a Band-Aid, I will puke. Stickers, I don't like anything sticky now. And also that thing, if say I'm sitting in my car and you come up and put your face up against the car and you see that nose print,
Right.
that grosses me out too. I can't stand it. And so I'm scared about having kids whenever they want stickers. So.
Yeah, and they like to put their little dirty noses on.
Oh yeah, man. It grosses me out so bad.
All right. What's a movie or TV show you wish you were in?
Oh man, let me think about this. Oh, Vikings, like the show.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, you definitely got a beard going.
Yeah, I would love to be in that. First of all, I love it, but I'm like, man, I could just be like one of the dudes in the battle, like 0.2 seconds of my face. I don't care, but get me holding an axe, going to town, just freaking swinging, man. That would be so epic. People would see my it would have to be 0.2 seconds because people would see my scrawny arms like, he's not a Viking.
All right. What's a dream duet or collaboration you would like to see for yourself?
Oh man, Rob Thomas.
Yeah.
Me and Rob Thomas. Oh man, that would. I literally have dreams about it. I literally have dreams about if I got to write or even sing in a song or have any part in a song with Rob Thomas, that would be the coolest thing. He's my favorite, my inspiration for starting to sing. So
yeah, man, one of the best, and it also seems like a super cool guy too. Everything I've seen, just.
Oh, dude, I mean, it's and he stays out of the spotlight, man.
Yeah.
He's kind of like what Dr. Dre was saying. He's always working on something, but he doesn't. Half the stuff, all his media is about his dogs or his wife. He does a song of the day, and that's it. And then he'll come out with a new CD, and it's oh, Rob Thomas, when did you do this? Yeah. He seems like a really cool dude. He
1997 match. I went to see Matchbox 20 at the arena, whatever, Scottrade or Enterprise or whatever, and they that was my very first concert that I asked my parents to take me to. And
that's awesome.
So my mom and my buddy
what a
went.
show to be your first, man.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably took me to something else before, but that was the one I was like, Mom, I want to go to the show because that record came out and I'm just was hooked on it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I have the same thing, and I didn't find it till years later. I mean, my parents mostly raised me on Christian and country music. Which it's funny that now I'm leaning toward country, after all those years. and I guess like like Shelter's kind of a Christian-esque. I don't know.
Sure.
It's kind of funny, but no. My uncle gave me this little LP. Like I don't even know if it's like just 2 songs. It was like a demo thing. Had an acoustic version of Push and had 3 a.m. on it.
Yeah.
And I listened to them, and it's kind of like we were talking with storytelling, man. It's like it was just amazing. Like you could see it, and I'm like I've been there, and I'm like I don't know, like 10 or 11, and I'm like, dude, I know that feeling. Yeah, and it moved me, and I literally brought my parents down to my room like a little kid, and I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm supposed to do is write this, and like that was Rob Thomas and Matchbox 20 all the way for me.
Nice. I speaking of duets and collaborations, and I was thinking even the fact that you had another one called Call Me Out, but I thought of
Counting Me Out.
Counting
Yeah,
Me
I know.
ATG.
Dude, that was so much fun, man. And I mean, little, I don't know if I'm supposed to say it, but I have a couple other songs I've thrown vocals down for ATG that he hasn't come out with yet. But the last one, we have yet to record it, but I sent them the voice thing over, and Counting Me Out is amazing.
Yeah.
But this one has so much emotion and personal, weight, man. It's gonna be cool. But yeah, no, I love that song, dude. And ATG is so freaking talented, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's one of the best, but yeah, that song and the whole legacy, that whole record's incredible. But Counting Me Out just like is perfect for me it's just a good one to get you fired up, because I think there's a lot of us that kind of been there where people doubted you and everything else, and it's like, and you want to prove them wrong, it's like so, and I know that's where I kind of where I resonate, like where I'm like there's times where opportunities don't happen for me, but it makes me push harder and makes me work harder to get it, to earn it, and stuff.
Yeah, because we all went through the same things early whenever we were first trying to figure out what dreams we wanted. Like I was, and a big part, I'm not like, I'm let go of that resentment, but like I still think about those people and those teachers and my first guitar teacher that didn't believe in me, that said I wouldn't do anything. And I'm like, now when I'm standing up on stage and releasing songs, I'm like, oh yeah, like really? Like now they pay to come see my shows. So.
Yeah, man. Yep. I think that's I love that part of it.
That song is great, man.
Yeah.
ATG is and he's a great guy. He's a great dude. I worked with him in Steeples as well. Yeah. He's awesome.
For sure.
I wish I could rap. I tried to rap in Steeples, but I did not. I didn't quite hit the mark, but I'll get there. Maybe I'll come with a rap record next time.
There you go. Me and my buddy Ryan are kind of talking about working on a project, doing like, well, the idea has been there for a while, but like trying to actually make it happen, and like about doing like snack raps and stuff, like just all kind of Weird Al-esque type of goofy songs about food, and so I'm gonna try to make that happen.
You got to do one about biscuits and gravy, and let me have like a cameo in there.
There you go.
Like that's my favorite food.
We can definitely do that.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Do you do any celebrity impressions, Ryan?
No. I'm not. No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Wow, that's something I've never thought about. I used to be able to do all the VeggieTales. Actually, if you're a VeggieTales fan, I can sing the Cheeseburger Song perfectly. Yeah, you know that song?
I don't know if I know that one. I know a little bit about those.
I used to pride myself being able to mimic every single VeggieTales character, but the only one I can still do is the Cheeseburger. And it's like,
is this an exclusive?
I might mess it up. She said to him, he said to her, I like a cheeseburger, and I might like a milkshake as well. She said to him, I can't give you either. And he said, isn't this Burger Bell? She said, yes it is, but we're closed now. But we open tomorrow at 10. He said, I am extremely hungry, but I guess I can wait until then. 'Cause you're his cheeseburger, his lovely cheeseburger. He'll wait for you, yeah, he'll wait for you. Oh, please don't leave cheeseburger, his lovely cheeseburger. He'll wait for you. Oh, he will wait for you. And that's only half the song, but yeah, there you go.
Beautiful, man.
Yep, there you go. That's it. I do like cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really, when I sat down today, I didn't know
Didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I love doing.
I can
the
also
show.
sing musicals perfectly.
There you go.
And a lot of people know how I feel. I feel like any band in St. Louis knows that like I'll go out and sing like a freaking big musical piece for every show.
Yeah.
Just out in the because it's a good way to warm up your voice.
Yeah.
But
there you go. So it might be the same answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. But you get to front the band for one song. What's going to be the song or band, and what's the song?
oh, any band that's already there and a song that's already made.
Yeah,
and
and they pull you up on stage. They're saying, Ryan, we want you to come sing this song with us.
Oh, I don't know many songs. That's the.
Well, in this.
Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Linkin Park, yeah. And Numb.
No. Oh man.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a thing going around for a second, man. My buddy, he wrote this article being
right.
yeah, Linkin Park should have Ryan Cheney as the front man. Everyone shared it. I'm like, I mean, crazier things have happened,
Sure.
man. I don't know. And then it was funny because I did do a cover of Numb that I had on YouTube, and within like 3 weeks after he posted that video got flagged on, and not on YouTube but on Twitter. It got flagged and taken down by whatever label they're with.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny because maybe they were noticing.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Somebody's watching. I think didn't you do it at the Songwriter Showcase? Too?
Yeah, I did.
I think you covered that.
That's
night.
one of my favorite covers.
Yeah, man, that's a great song. And
Dude,
but
those first couple CDs were just stupid good.
that would be pretty wild though to get to sing with Chester because that guy's vocals were insane. Like,
oh yeah, I mean Matt Amelung always said that like he thinks that I would sound like Chester if I just sang rougher, if I sang a little grungier. We have similar pitches and everything. But yeah, that would be so cool, man. And, yeah. I might have like I might have like thought for a second that it might happen and been like, dude, my life might change. I don't know, but then it didn't. I'm still waiting. Linkin Park, I'm still waiting, man. I won't put aside my solo career.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Mike,
I'll join your band.
Mike, if you're listening, get a hold of us and
yeah,
we'll make it happen.
I mean, I'm a good-looking guy, and I might star in Vikings, the show.
There you go.
So
it's gonna happen. Well, buddy, this has been a ton of fun, man. I really been having a great time here today, and but I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of what you're doing and doing this by yourself out here now, and chasing this dream and doing this stuff. But these songs are incredible, and I can't wait for this record and everybody else to hear these songs.
Thanks, dude.
So keep them coming. I'll like I said, I love it all. It's been a lot of fun watching you work all these years and become buddies and everything. So I can't wait to see what's next. And again, you can get tapped into Ryan Cheney Official for all information. I got some brand new photos out there now.
oh yeah.
So yeah,
they're pretty fun.
yeah.
That's super cool.
Good. So it's all coming together, man. We're gonna have it's gonna be official for sure here soon. But yeah. Well, thanks, buddy, and I will see you soon.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. All right. Bye, everyone.
Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast. Rock Paper Podcast.
Rock Paper Podcast.
Well, yeah, that was it.